solving the equation x times, and in a parenthesis here, x minus 4, close that parenthesis, equals to 2x times, in the parenthesis, x plus 6. Check your solutions. Now, notice that's interesting. It says check your solutions because you know what? There's more than one. So solve the equation x times x minus 4, that's in a parenthesis, equaling to 2x times x plus 6. And again, we want to check our solutions, all right. So let's see what we got going here. Let's check this problem out right here. And we got solve and check. We're going to do that, all right. But first we got to solve it. And a lot of you are going like, my goodness, Ernie, you got x's everywhere. You can't guess and check this one, can you? Well, probably not a good idea to try, all right. You could play with it. There's one good answer that would be fairly easy, but one that is going to take a little bit more work to find. So let's do the work to begin with, and then we'll check and see that we got it right. How's that? Everybody good on that? Of course you are. It's TNLearn Mathline. Let's see what's going to happen. So we're going to distribute. We're going to start right in distributive property. That's what we got going here. And like I said, we got a lot of x's to look at. When we say x times x, we come up with x squared. When we say x times the minus 4, we're going to have minus 4x. Now, that's the first thing we want to make sure that that x squared did not come 2x, all right? It's x squared, all right? So x times x gives you 2x. Now, x plus x, that would be 2x, but that's not what we got here, all right? So careful, do not make that error. Do not make that error. Keep the equals. Let's start a new distributive property moment, all right? We're going to take 2x times everything over in this parenthesis. How about it? We're going to have 2x squared plus the 12x hanging on there. And you say, Ernie, I don't know if that looks any better than what you started with. Well, it is. It's going to help us out because now we have some x squared on the left. We have x squareds on the right. We've got this minus 4x on the left, and we've got a plus 12x on the right. And you're saying, oh, I think we got like terms. We have like terms. However, be careful. We can't add x squared to 2x squared here, all right? We've got an equals that's bridging us in between. So what we've got to do is take this one step at a time. That's what we always do, right? Let's get that x squared off the left-hand side. Let's try to join it up with the right-hand side. Remember, if we want to remove it from the left, we've got to do the opposite. So in this case, we're going to subtract. And once we start subtracting on the left, folks, we got to subtract on the right. So here we go. Let's take minus 2x. Nope, let's minus x squared. Get it right. And let's see, that leaves me with negative 4x on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I have x squared. I've got a 12x hanging on right there. Still working, still working. You know, I can't get rid of that x squared, can I? So we've got to set equal to 0 and see if we can get a little factoring going on here, all right? So I've got this minus 4x keeping me from getting a 0 on the left, so let's do it. Let's add 4x. That'll remove it. And remember, we're going to add it to the right. Whatever we do to the left, we've got to do to the right. Those are called addition property of equality going for us there, all right? And we just wiped out. We put two inverses right there, a negative 4 and a positive 4 adding together. We're going to 0. But over here, we've got this x squared plus 16x. Well, it looks easier, looks simpler, but we're still going like, well, what's the answer? One is an obvious answer. One of the answers is very obvious. It's not the answer 1, but one of our solutions is very obvious, all right? Take a look at that. Tell me you think what it is obvious. Everybody's out there going, I think it would be. We'll show you in just a second, all right? And let's see what's not so obvious. But if we do a factoring, it will be obvious, okay? You say, well, Ernie, there's not a number out there plus that 16x. There's not a constant out there. And what we have to do is look for a greatest common factor here, all right, folks? That's one of those little tricks. A lot of times my students forget about that when they're doing factoring problems. They say, oh, I forgot we can do this. So let's do it. Pull out the GCF. In this case, there's an x that belongs to both of these. Divide x out, and you're left with x plus 16, still equaling 0 on the left. So guess what? We have two solutions popping up. Remember I said one was going to be fairly obvious? Hope y'all got it there. Right there's one of them right there. We take this first factor. If we can get my bottom third down there. There we go. Thank you. And we've got this situation here where we're going to go right down through here. We've got x equaling 0. We take that equal to there. And also over here we've got x plus 16 equaling to 0. And you know, we don't have to work with this one. That was the obvious choice, because if you put a 0 in everywhere up here, both you're going to have 0 equaling 0. So that one was easy to spot, easy to check. This one over here is a little bit more hidden from the original problem. Let's see what happens. We're going to subtract 16 both sides, and that's going to leave us with x equaling a negative 16. The question is, will that check out? Well, let's find out. Let's put it right over here. We're going to take negative 16 times negative 16 minus 4 equaling to 2 times negative 16 times negative 16 plus 6. Wow, that one went crazy, all right? Well, let's see what happens. We got a negative 16 times negative 20. We're going to bring it in with a negative 32, and that's going to give us a negative 10. We're going to check, make sure these things work, all right? Looking at this, I'm going to get 320 on the left side. That's pretty big, isn't it? But that's what 16 times 20. Remember, negative times negative is positive. And over here, I've got negative 32 times a negative 10, which gives us a positive 320, and it checks. So both of these check out. That negative 16 right there, it checks out all the way through there. Wow. Our two solutions, notice we said solve and check your solutions earlier in the program. It's a 0 and negative 16. Both are good.
For more math help, visit TNLearn.org.